Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacob Meister, and welcome to round 8 of the F2 series here on the Friday nights. Wet sprint race, thank you, band, here at Silverstone. We have, it looks like, dry feature race, dry quali, but we have a wet sprint race, which is going to be interesting. We just get set up here. It looks about right. We've got a track map, and I think we've got somebody out already. That'll be Panda. Alrighty. A little bit of a rev glitch, but no big deal. Alrighty, so round 8. Panda is currently second in the championship standings. I believe Potsy is leading that, though he hasn't participated recently, so it's all pretty much wide open. Panda very fast in the F2 cars here. We'll just hop on board as he goes through, as we warm up lap, and then there's a few flying laps here. Now, we're doing a full qualifying session, for those who don't know, but people will just do one run. We'll do a couple of laps until the fuel runs out, then they'll retire. So we'll see how people go here at Silverstone. Pretty bad trick for tyre wear, but wet sprint race could be interesting. And this trick is so fun in these cars as well. I've always loved this trick in the F2s, and just see. Hopefully everyone here will have a bit of fun. That's what this Friday is all about for us at AFR. Now, a couple of things I want to point out. I think this is Bunning Snag's first race with us. And I also... It was a big bus. Yes, now that's Fever. I usually have nicknames set, although I don't know how this one slipped through. But anyway, we'll hop on with Panda as he comes through to the last chicane here. We'll follow his flying lap and we'll see what sort of a benchmark we'll get around here. Shout out Big Bus, I know, right? I swear I had him nicknamed, eh? Anyway, Panda, start finish line, gonna start his flying lap now here at Silverstone. This first corner's a bit trickier in this game, lifting a little bit. Panda can take the total lead tonight since Potsy isn't here. Yep, it's pretty tight up there. I believe Panda combined Big L, they're all right up there, as well as Fever, so it's pretty much wide open at this point if Potsy decides to not race for the last couple of races. This is round 8 of 10 after all. Panda coming down through this DRS straight now, using all that curb and then turning in, taking as much speed as possible through the corner. Nice and tidy as you'd expect though. So most drivers will get 2, possibly 3, but probably not 3 laps before they'll need to retire their cars. And you only get 1 set of the softer compound, so you only see 1 run from them. Panda does not go wide at cops. Very easy to do, at least in the F1 cars. Noting a little bit of that sausage curb coming through Maggots and Beckett's, but it's not looking too bad for a wee banker lap here, hitting the DRS. Track's pretty congested now. Pretty much everyone's going to be on their run. This is the thing. Everyone starts their runs at roughly the same time. Again, you want to carry more speed than you think you can. Last couple of turns now. Let's see what sort of a lap Panda can set here. Looking pretty good. And that's a 39 flat. So it's a nice wee benchmark there. We'll just fall back a little bit. Okay, Fever has invalidated, so we'll go with Ando. Oh wow. Tailing outside, hopefully you guys can't hear that. And coming through Sector 1 now. Just running through some times. Quantum did a 40.3. Some of the boys I was talking to earlier, yeah, I know, weather's awful down here, Macau. Yeah, some of the boys were talking about doing 40s earlier, but with very little practice, of course, so probably around what we'll see tonight. T-Mac 40.6. Shane Mumford, name we haven't seen in a little bit here at AFR, 40.7. Bunning Snag 41.1. Can hear it. Hopefully it passes. I can't do much about it, sorry guys, but just a bit of weather occurring on my end, unfortunately. Oh, Ando! Losing it a little bit. He's given it up. He's going to have to rely on his other lap here. We'll just move on here. Maybe Fever's on a decent lap here. I think that's just passed through. I'm going to have to go back and listen to that hail now. Bandcap sitting at 41.1. Times rolling in around the 31s. Sector 2 yellow flag, I believe somebody just thinking somebody through, but Geordie and Wingman also sitting 39s, pretty fast drivers, that's not unexpected. And Spicer's, he spun it. Spicer has spun it on the start finish line. He got his lap in though. Can I hop on with him maybe? If I can figure out who it is. I know his AI's picked it up, so not too sure what happened there. And Fever has invalidated his second lap. Let's get A4 here. There's people retiring, they've done with their runs. Panda set a 38.6 while I was just sussing out the Spicer incident. People will retire left and right here. Let's hop on with Vexation's retired. Combine will be a good one. Okay, alrighty. He's still got to set a lap. A lot of pace in these F2s. He's been doing not too badly in the Tier 1 series, which is, by the way, every Sunday night. We'll be at France this week. Do tune in for that. 20 drivers is a lot better than the 8 we had last week. Yeah, exactly. Pondon has showed up, which always helps numbers. But, you know, the more the better. And I think when people see more drivers are going to be in it, then it just makes for good racing. Nobody wants to be racing with 8 other people, you know. Pondon as well, sitting at 40.2. Tannis, Jackson on mine, sorry, 39 flat. Combined, keeping it clean for Maggots. He just wants to have a lap done. Can't wait for Kuno's French. Yeah, he butchered the, I think it was season 3 or something. He butchered the names of the corners. And I think it was Nut that put out that video correcting him. It was so funny. So combined, what time can he sit here? This isn't looking too bad. It's at least going to put him a couple of spots up, you'd think. Maybe a 39? 39.3, 4th place. Just picking combined there for, or Wingman, sorry, for 4th place. Good time. And Ban's just about done his lap as well, so he might have even run out of fuel actually. Yep, there we go. So that's quali done and dusted pretty quickly. Panda very quick in these cars indeed. This Band's AI awkwardly pulls off, so Panda does take 4 points and pole position, followed by Tannis or Jackson, Geordie, Combined and Wingman all in the 39s. Trin, T-Mac, Quantum, Pondon and Mr. Spicer, who retired on the line, does get 10th place, just missing out. We've got Bandcamp, Mika, Shane Mumford, Bunningsnag, and people not sitting a time would be Forehead, Fever, Andocat, Vexation, Crush, and Baitmate. Ready to watch the carnage. It's going to be very tight racing, and that's what I love about the F2s. You can just really get the elbows out. It makes for some really good racing, and a lot of people do enjoy it for that. So we have 15 laps of the feature race, and then we've got an 11 lap sprint race. Now the sprint race is wet as well, so we're going to be really looking forward to that one, I think. I don't believe there's any weather scheduled for the feature race, so a few clouds around, but I believe we run approximate weather, so something could happen, I suppose. So we're just waiting for the grid to get going on their formation lap. Oh, Rainmeister in his car off the rain. Yes, Panda. Yes, in the rain. We'll have to wait another 15 laps and see how that prevails, though. So obviously nobody really changing their straight. Everybody's going to start on the softer compound, which is the medium on this track. Now, remember, there is a mandatory tyre change that has to be done after 3 laps have gone through the race, and you can't do it under the virtual safety car. Pretty simple stuff, but if you're new to the F2s, then that's the rule, really. Everyone just hopping around now. So people to look out for. Wingman has got a fair bit of pace, and normally can't commit too much to the F1 side of things, or at least the league racing. Tends to be a bit more busy in real life, but due to the recent lockdowns in New Zealand, he's been able to practice a bit more, and his pace is really shown in Tier 2, so it's no surprise that he's up in 5th place right now, and he'll probably do well this race. He'll probably do well. some people to look out for as well. Combined, I think Geordie's up in the standings as well. Same for Panda. Well, not Geordie. I think he's missed a couple of races. But combined, Panda, Big Al. He's not with us tonight, unfortunately. But Fever as well, down in 16th. They're all people that are in the running for first place in the championship standings. It's pretty tight up there. What's it like to be out of lockdown? Oh dear. Honestly, I work during lockdown anyway. Like during our heaviest lockdown. Like I'm an essential worker, so I couldn't even tell you. Oh dear. But I am feeling for you guys over in Australia. You guys have been, a fair few of you have been in lockdown for quite a while, and hopefully you get through and hopefully things will get back to normal eventually. But now the driver's gridding up now for this feature race here at Silverstone. And thanks for the follow, a little forehead. Alright, and also look out at the very back. We've got Bait just pulling up pretty awkwardly. I think he made his way through half the grid. But he'll be starting at the back. He's got some decent pace as well as Fever, who's also just gridding up. Looks like he may have been in a little bit of a tangle. Just coming to the grid now. But he's got the pace to come through. Alrighty. Give me a good... Yeah, there we go, there's a good angle. Right, 5 red lights. And we are away, and that's combined with a beautiful start. That's a pad start for you right there. Oh, that's somebody around already. Is that Spicer? That is Spicer. Oh dear, and I hope nobody else got damage from that. A couple of cars going wide. Panda has retained the lead. That's a beautiful start from him. Combines only managed to stay in third from that. Now, was that Geordie even? That was Geordie, my bad. So Geordie and Spicer might have gotten tangled up there, and Geordie was the one that spun around. And he does have some damage because of that. And Band! He's just fallen back a little bit. I'm just going to see if he has any damage. It doesn't appear to. But combined, really trying to push Artanis here in this first part of the race here. Sorry for the jumping around. Wingman challenging T-Mac for 4th spot right now. Side by side through there. T-Mac getting the better of it. Pondon is up 3 spots already, and he's right on Wingman as they go towards Cops. He's looking for a move. Well, 10 places is a bit, Mikhail, come on. Oh, I just saw 2 wide there, did I? Oh, I did. And Forehead backed out quite a bit. Hard to get a decent angle here, but a lot of jostling going around. Fever started 16th, he's now 11th. We'll make that 10th now, actually, jeez. Trying to make a move on Trent. He's had to go wide. Hopefully he doesn't collect Forehead. Nope, Forehead will go through. It's a nice bit of driving. They had to go off track, and he did well to keep that together. Pondon is up into 4th. That's beautiful driving from him, although he hasn't quite got it on lockdown yet. See us side by side with Wingman. Just a little bit later on the brakes. Yeah, Wingman doing all he can, but doesn't really get a good exit there, so Pondon will take 4th place. A couple of people are coming into the pits as well. I think there was some early wing damage there. Yeah, wings lined up for both of these, Trent and Fever, yeah. We did see a wee altercation there. Oh, and T-Mac, I think, is he just getting caught up there a little bit? Quantum is all over him for it. And Panda has fallen back. Oh no, he hasn't. That's the... what are they called? The standings. Just being annoying. Sweet as. At least it's a minor bug we don't have to worry about. But Panda is still leading this race, followed by Artanis, if I can do that correctly. And combined, just trailing him, not doing too much, but you have to go back a long way to 4th place. It's already a few seconds. And Pondon isn't really able to lose the guys behind him. Wingman, T-Mac, Quantum, all looking to get by here. Wingman's got to run. He might try something. Wow, there was a squeeze and a half there. And Pondon just gave us the car up. T-Mac went a little bit loose as well. So good driving from everyone there to sort of try and keep the cars under control, but not much respect here, and you can really have some tight battles here. T-Mac absolutely sending it. It almost looked like on Pondon, but it looked like it should have been a bit of an accident, but it wasn't. You can go pretty deep in that turn. He's going to try it again here on Pondon. You can see he just gets ahead, sticks it on the outside, and Pondon does fall down to 6th. So he had a great start, but just doesn't have the pace, I suppose, to hold off the people behind him. Oh, the intervals are a little bit buggy right now, I do apologise. Keep an eye on this angry retrain. In fact, we've even got Baitmate. Oh, that's not the right one. This is the right one. We've even got Baitmate trying to make a move on Mika, but again, his exit just got compromised, and Mika might even try and move on Bunningsnag if he can get a good enough run. The thing is with this DRS train, though, it's going to be so hard to make a move, just because you don't really get any speed advantage down the straight. What an angry train. This is from 4th place all the way down to 17th almost, it looks like. Just having to guess there through the intervals being a little bit screwed right now. They should fix themselves. Come on, give us some better angles. There we go. So lap 3 of 15 here. Shane's doing pretty well in 8th place. Let's actually have a look at who has moved around the most. We've had a few movements just with people padding off, and probably the biggest mover definitely is Crush. He's in the high tech this time around. He's up 10 spots. Just see T-Mac and Pondon having a wee battle. We'll just they almost lock wheels there a little bit. Quantum's coming pretty much straight away. And he's being shadowed by, I believe, is that Shane Mumford? Yeah, it is. Hard to tell, it's moving so quick. Tyre wear is pretty bad around here. I'm not too surprised people are changing their tyres so early. I remember our first F2 race around here, the tyre wear was way worse than we were told, and then we just came in as soon as we could. Big bus, what happened? Some wing damage involving Trin. They came in around the same time. We didn't catch the incident, but we did see them getting a bit dicey around Maggots and Beckett, so yeah, not too sure what happened there. A couple of yellow... Oh, hang on. You mean right now, I should say. Well, he's reversed down half the track. No, it looks like he's had a bit of an incident there. I saw quite a lot of wing come off. Where is he? There he is. Yeah, there's a bit of wing off there. So it must have been a pretty nasty spin. And same for Geordie. Who... Not sure if that's a reset or not. I'd have to go back and double check. No big deal though, but... Just the way his car was on the racing line there, but... He definitely had a spin there. Let's hop on to the actual race though. Combine, looking to make a move on Artanis here for 2nd place. Sends it down the inside. And Jackson does try for the switchback. Very easy to do around here. But more just setting himself up to go into the pit lane. I've been fooled, tricked, and played. More people just peeling in now. Panda combined, Wingman all choosing to stay out. A few penalties coming in for the spitting in the pit lane. Yeah, sure, Michael, no worries. Yeah, just hop in whenever, no worries. Lap 5 of 15 here. So, Altanis, Jackson, Band, Mika, Spicer, T-Mac, they've all come in for tyre changes. Yeah, just whenever, Michael, I'm not too worried. You might bait some people. I've got Discord noises on. So. But the people up front have definitely fanned out a little bit. Ando's pretty close to Bunningsnag though. This is for 8th place on track. Pretty close here. Does he try and make something happen through cops? This is a risky move at the best of times, but in the F2s you get a bit more control over your car. And Bunnings just had to go a bit wide there. But they do hold their positions. Meanwhile, Forehead trying something on Bait. He's really close to him, or at least he was. Spinning to 3 seconds there, just coming through Maggots. Oh, and I think we just saw Mika. I just saw Mika go a little bit wide. Don't think he's got damage. I just saw it on the mini-map. Just lost the spot to Trin there. No, I'm not seeing anything, but back up to the race. Yeah, people filing in now. Bait and Ando still staying out. Everyone else has decided now's the time. Want to get off those mediums. They will wear pretty hard at this point. Alright, let's have a look at the pens just really quickly. Bait and Ando both have 3 seconds. Pondon, Vexation, Bunning Snag all have 3 seconds. Spicer has 8. Mika has 5. Fever has 3. And Mikhail has joined us. Good evening.
Good evening. Who's pumped for some Silverstone?
Oh yeah. Are you able to join, by the way?
Yeah, I'm getting in.
Oh, you're getting in. Good, good. Cool.
I'm getting there.
Awesome, awesome. Alrighty, lap 6 of 15 here. So just to summarise, we've still got 2 cars yet to make their mandatory pit stops. That's Bait and Nando. Everyone else has done their pit stops. And Panda is currently a provisional race leader. He's got 5 seconds on Artanis currently.
Yeah, interesting that Bateman and Nando have stayed out this long. They're definitely going to get undercut once those hard tyres get up to temperature, which can be a bit difficult. But those mediums probably aren't feeling too great either.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rough call because you sort of want to stay with the train and just sort of stay within DRS of people, to be honest. Because once you stay out, then you lose DRS, you're on slower tyres, and you're just hurting all around. You just sort of end up losing everyone because of that usually. But we'll see what happens here. Bait's just come in, same for Rando, so we'll see where they pop out. I think they were around mid-pack when they came in. Or beforehand, I should say, for pits.
Yeah, it looks like Panda as well at the front of things, having a nice, comfortable gap between himself and Jackson, but combined still quite close to the back of Race Lab car, I believe it's called.
Yes.
I never get these right. Yes, a Race Lab car. There we go. F2 teams.
I'll never remember them. Oh! I just saw that on my screen. Wingman just left. So, must be some sort of disconnection. Hopefully we can get back. I was just watching Pondon and T-Mac just sort of duke it out for the last few turns. They've really had a good battle this race and they're not letting each other go. They're currently 5th and 6th on track currently. Bates...
Yeah, and after the pit stops, yeah, Batemate and Ando are right in the thick of this train, Jacob. We see Wingman has disconnected, so Pondon's going to have some DRS to help at least temporarily ward off the attack from T-Mac behind him. But all aboard the Pondon train, it looks like they made their way into Brooklands now on lap 7 of 15, Jacob.
Yeah, and Pondon was sort of the head of this train at the very start of the race. He made his way up from, I think it was 9th to 4th place, and just sort of got swamped after the start, just on pace alone, really. So now T-Mac and Quantum, they were both fighting to get past him at the start. They're going to have to do it again, and I just see a yellow flag. I think that's Vexation just coming off. Just cutting a bit of the grass as he rejoins the track. But he's down.
He's going to get employed by Mercedes lawn mowing services.
No damage.
Process. It looks like
Fever
having yet another issue. Not having a great race. As he almost a lap down on. Well, Panda's about to lap him in a few corners time if this rate keeps up. As Panda just showing his dominance as usual in these F2 cars. A 1 minute 40.6. Right now, Wingman still unable to get back into the session. The Dragon getting past him there.
Wow, he's down to 12th already. That's really unfortunate. Incredible. Alright, so lap 8 of 15. Pondon and T-Mac still going at it up in 4th place. T-Mac is hounding him here. But just can't seem to quite get past him right now. His next chance is probably going to be on the next DRS straight here.
Yeah, well, with how powerful the DRS on the Slipstream is, as Batemate goes for a massive dive up the inside of the loop. And he gets on the power through Aintree, squeezes Quantum out onto the outside AstroTurf. They're now having a drag race, both of them having the DRS into Brooklands as T-Mac goes for the move ahead of them on Pondon. Batemate has that inside line. Can Quantum find the switchback? No, not quite, as Pondon runs a little bit wide. He does have that 3-second time penalty, as is Quantum trying to find a way around the inside, but ahead of them, they're having a drag race about Lewis Hamilton Verstappen style, heading up into Cops, Jacob.
Incredible stuff there, and I just saw Quantum just slightly lose it. He's lost the spot for it. Now T-Max just slotted in behind Pondon. He's got the switchback though. He's going to try shove it on the outside, which turns into the inside for the next turn here. But yeah, it's a bit dicey trying to make it too wide through here, so he does slot back for now, and Batemate is ranged right up onto them. So this is quite a spicy battle for 4th place. His Wingman rejoins, but he's all the way down in 16th place.
Yeah, that's very, very unfortunate for Wingman. It looks like Pondon might actually get mugged here. Oh, Batemate goes against making it 3 wide into Stowe. But there we go, Pondon having an amazing defense right now as Panda picks up a 3-second time penalty, but 7 seconds out in the lead, Jacob. That's not going to be causing him any issues as Batemate runs into the back of the ART. But the Carlin is able to keep it under control, and I don't really see any physical damage on that car, but what I do see is a dam right on that rear wing.
Yes, it's a pretty scary train all the way down to, I think...
Oh, here he goes.
Let me find myself here. Yep, sorry. So that's 4 here, up into 7th, but Quantum's still fighting the issue. He's positioned himself for the inside here, and if he can get a good exit...
Crush might actually get the run on both of them here. He plays his cards right, just trying to step back. Of course, they all have DRS, nullifying each other. As Trin and Spice have a little bit of an exchange back at Aintree behind them. Some 3.5 seconds away, but forehead inside becomes the outside for Lovefield. Can he find the cutback for the second part of the corner? No, not quite, as they make their way up into Cops once more. T-Mac still staying ahead of Pondon for the time being, but Ando gaining on this train as well. Crush has to check up a little bit, but they're all just holding line of stern as they make their way into Maggots and Beckett's for another lap.
Yeah, 4th down to 11th. The top 3 have really just sort of run away into their own wee battle, and T-Mac trying to sort of become that 4th person. But Pondon...
Here we go. Have a look at Crush now, Jacob. Have a look at Crush. He's got the run. He got a little bit of a slipstream before. It's helping out Quantum.
Oh!
Now Crush tucks back in a little bit as we have a yellow flag. That's Andocat. He's spinning right before Stowe corner.
Yes, Crush moved over on him. I don't think he was entirely aware of Ando's run on him, and he just got tapped by him and just spun off. That was incredible.
Well, you have to remember, Jacob, that it isn't just points that these guys are fighting for. That 8th place also starts in pole position for the wet sprint race. And without the DRS, that's going to be insanely difficult to overtake. Because look at the move from Quantum Effect. Outside of Abbey becomes the inside for Farm Curve. And there we go, into the loop they go. And what a nice move from Quantum, but it isn't quite over yet. Forehead has an answer as they make their way towards turn 5.
Oh, he's making it work on the outside every time. He's just getting that good exit, and they're still side by side. And once again, it's a drag race all the way down here, but Quantum, a bit later on the brakes, just covers off the switchback.
Covers that off absolutely amazingly. Puts that MP Motorsport car exactly where he needed to get the move done, and that is now 7th place on track for the MP Motorsport car. And right ahead of them as well, Batemate, 1.5 tenths behind T-Mac, behind Pondon, who's about 2 tenths behind T-Mac going into Cops.
Yeah, I was saying that Pondon might have been swallowed up by pace earlier, but he seems to be holding on pretty well on T-Mac, so I'm just wondering... He's doing pretty well. I'm not too sure. They must all be pretty equal, but this top 3 is just lightning compared to the rest of the field. But let's see if anybody can do anything with this DRS here. Pondon, can he get a good run on T-Mac here? Coming into Stowe on the outside here. He should get him pretty early, so I don't think there's going to be any contest. T-Mac going a little bit deeper on the brakes, but... Oh, he has made it work. Pondon's gone a little bit wide. And T-Mac does take the outside. I think he's got it covered. Yep, so T-Mac retains.
Meanwhile, while that's happening, the battle for 10th place is raging on. Trin had a look at the inside of Bandcamp into Stowe corner. Now tries the outside for Vale. And Spicer's going to try and make it work as well. Little twitch there from the UNI Virtuosi car. Band keeps his car on the inside of Club Corner as they start lap 11 of 15. Forehead picks up a 3-second time penalty, and they're making their way through Abbey now. It looks like Trin up into that 10th place as Batemate gets past Pondon.
Yes, Batemate now at the 5th, although that is not over. It looks like they're still side by side here. Just saw one of the dams go wide as well. That was Forehead. Bate is just hanging around the outside of Pondon here. He's fallen back. But they both have DRS though, and Bate had a little bit of a toe. Pondon's got this outside line, or inside line does become the outside, I should say. And it looks like Bate's got 5th place locked down now.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at this little trio behind them for that final points place. Trin and Band about to have another drag race up through the flat out right hand of turn 8. I forget the corner name there. Past the old pit straight. And here we go, yet another side-by-side moment into the Cops corner. Band, he understeers slightly but avoids contact with Trin, and Trin's able to hold that round the outside. Now that's going to give Mr. Spicer the opportunity, but he thinks better of it heading into the technical air session as Band locks the rears, and he's drifting around. Oh no.
He nearly saved that, to be fair. It looked like he actually had it, but that's very unfortunate. Did pretty well to hold on to that spot there, but he does fall down to 15th place, and we'll be fighting for sheep stations really.
Well, every position will count in what is set to be a very challenging sprint race for these drivers in tricky conditions, as Batemate is fighting yet once again with T-Mac, and he's now become the head of that train, the whole 17 seconds behind the top 3. And speaking of the top 3, actually combined is just outside the DRS range of Jackson at the moment, as it looks like, oh no, Band's had yet another issue, dropping down to 17th, Jacob.
Yeah, well, when it rains and pours, I suppose, be a little bit frustrated with that little mistake in Maggots, and yeah, it just shows. Now, T-Mac made a little bit of a mistake coming through the last chicane, and has fallen down through that. Bates managed to get a little bit of a gap on him, but T-Mac still got DRS, and should be able to hang on at least to 5th place and maybe able to try and get a counter-attack on Bate for 4th, but Combined has been shadowing Jackson this whole race, and he's just a bit too far away to make a move right now, it looks like, and with only 3 laps left, I'm not too sure if he can make one in time.
Well, just going back to this train from Batemate down, the thing that T-Mac has to keep in mind is that all of those around him have penalties. The only one that doesn't is his teammate, actually, for the occasion, Trin, who's some 2.6 seconds behind this train, is Quantum. Very close to the back of Pondon. Just trying to find any opportunity. Can he get the run he needs out of Chapel Curve? It looks like he might, but Pondon gets a decent run as well. Now the run down the hanger straight towards Stowe Corner. Once again, all 3 of these guys having DRS, those being T-Mac, Pondon, and Quantum Effect. 1.5 to 2/10 is the gap, but they're all just holding it nice and easy through Stowe Corner. But with only a handful of laps to go, Jacob, the clock is ticking.
Yeah, 3 more laps. It's going to be do or die now. Just saw
Pondon, careful.
Pondon having a wee moment, I suppose. I just saw Wingman just get a move done on Bunning Snake for 12th place there. Shane picking up 3 seconds, and I've just got the penalties up on the screen right now. There's so many, I'm not even going to try attempt to read them out, but they are on screen there for you.
Yeah, track limit is quite difficult in these F2 cars because the amount of grip, especially from when the tyres start getting worn, it's very unpredictable. But here we go, the duel once again between T-Mac and Pondon, as Trin now picks up a 3-second time penalty. So only a few drivers left on this grid without time penalties. And Bate is just absolutely loving this battle between T-Mac and Pondon, because the longer that they fight, the longer that he's able to hold on to that 4th place on track.
Yeah, although it does seem a bit all for naught, because these intervals are really staying constant as Pondon just goes a little bit wide, coming onto the old pit straight there. Yeah, these gaps are really staying constant, so I'm not too sure. He's going to lose a couple of spots here, but he may stay in the points here at least.
Yeah, meanwhile T-Mac picked up a time penalty as well. Quantum picks up yet another one. So the penalties coming in left, right and centre. Looks like Pondon's going to be the big loser out of this massive train, but 8th, 9th and 10th, that's Forehead, Crush and Trin all on 3 seconds. And they're just hanging on to this long train that has formed and just really stayed the entire duration of this feature race. But 2 laps to go when these guys cross the line, and it's do or die for all these guys. But it's safe to say, Jacob, that Panda is in a league of his own at the moment.
Yeah, just hit fastest lap, 40 flat. It's good stuff. And combined is really starting to catch Jackson now here. He's only 4 tenths away from him. You just see Spicer just overtake Trent on track there. But Trent's actually fallen back. Oh, he's pits.
He's in the pit lane.
Ah. Okay, that does not show up when you have penalties.
We have a yellow flag in sector 1, that's Forehead. He's had an issue at Farm Curve. Not the best place and not the best time to have a moment. Mr. Spicer all over the back of him, despite the 11 seconds worth of penalties. He wants to get that Dams car on track if he can, to try and pull away and extend that gap to those behind, to try and maybe salvage that last point after penalties, although it is looking unlikely at this stage.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to call.
Oh,
it's
no,
combined! And that has ruined second place for him. He's going to have to stay in third now. It looked like he was going to make a move on Jackson. He still had to do it, mind you, but that's just ruined any chance of taking second place there. So it's more or less decided.
Yeah, just pushing a bit too hard through Beckett's and tried to just get too close to the back of that race lab car, and that's all it took. The little Pink Panther, as I like to call it, as Jackson goes deep. I mean, if Combine's still able to pass Jackson and put him under pressure, he could force that 1 or 2 mistakes that he needs to get Jackson on level footing with the Shrews racing car.
True, and I mean, we always like to get it done on track as well. We always like to finish ahead on track regardless. Have the braking rates.
Finishing ahead on track, we have a battle brewing now. Spicer trying to go around the outside of Stowe on Forehead. This could get dicey.
And on the inside, Forehead. He's been pretty sharp on his attacking though, and he's made that work pretty well, so that's 9th place for him. See if he can hold on to it. Spice with a lot of pens obviously, but Forehead has to not make any more mistakes.
Yeah, and speaking about not making mistakes, neither can Jackson, because despite that 3-second time penalty, Combined is all over him. And also to go along with that, back behind them, Pondon and T-Mac still very, very close together on track.
Pondon and T-Mac, they've been going at it the whole race. I'll be loving every bit of it, mine. But Pondon has 9 seconds as compared to T-Mac's 3 seconds. As you just see, Phoebe set a 1:39.8 for the fastest lap. At least he got something out of tonight's race. And Geordie!
Oh, no.
It's been
Oh, he's gotten the psycho bug.
Oh no, because he did pit.
No.
Yeah, he did. He's got 12 lap old hards. I'm wondering if he was he couldn't have been a lap early.
Well, here we go. Combined on Jackson.
I don't think there was any fight there. Yeah. Yeah, well, Jackson will know.
Could fight this back. Panda steals the fastest lap, Lewis Hamilton style. 1:39.7 to take maximum 27 points unless Bieber can beat that on his last attempt. And it will be Jackson on P2. Combined with that penalty, we'll have to settle for 3rd place. But it's all eyes now on this massive train that has really split into 2 as Mr. Spicer making moves on Forehead once again. Going into Stowe, but Baitmate, T-Mac, Pondon, Quantum, what's that order going to be at the end of the race? We'll have a look in a few moments' time. It looks like it will be T-Mac 4th, Baitmate 5th, Quantum in 6th, Pondon 7th.
Oh!
And oh no! Forehead and Spicer have come together at the last corner.
We caught that on stream, yeah. That was incredible because I think they had their positions locked down as well. Shane just got 10 seconds for extending as well. But it looks like it's got Bait, Quantum, Pondon, Wingman, Andrew, and Crush take out the points. Wingman will start pole in the next race. Then it's Forehead 11th and Spicer is all the way down in 15th because of that. Although we did have 11 seconds too. Wow. And Shane, what was it? 38 seconds of penalty and he's retired. I mean, fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, Shane just sending it straight into the wall, not happy with his drive whatsoever.
Oh, he had a puncture. He's got a puncture on his front right, yeah. You can just see the tyre sort of rip there. Yeah, that's odd. Oh well.
So, congrats to Red Panda for taking the win and fastest lap, I do believe. He holds that trophy up high, and I think that is enough to put him in front of Potsy in the driver's standing. So I'll have a quick check for you.
Yeah, should be. Yeah, Potsy hasn't done a few rounds in a row, so.
Yes, coming into this Panda was 7 points behind.
Yeah, and Combined and Jackson getting good points as well as we go through the final results. There a lot of penalties really shaking things around, and obviously that crazy incident on the last corner. Those two did not need to be racing that hard. I mean, penalties already had that sorted, but it is what it is. Just waiting for the standings to load. I've got a black screen currently. Just bear with us 1 second.
Yeah, so Panda in first, Jackson second, combined in third. Panda the fast lap, 139.7. And Baitmate, Quantum, Pondon, and Wingman round out the top 8 as we head into the sprint race. Is it working yet for you, Jacob?
No, I'm good. I'm into the next part now. It didn't load up in time for some reason. That's never happened to me before. So we didn't get to see the results.
Viewers can see the downpour, not as heavy as it has been before.
Looks pretty light, but only one type of compound for wet running. Only the wet tires.
There's no intermediates in F2. That is correct, Jacob. So it's either you're going to have really, really hot wet tires or a very, very slippy set of slicks. And which one do you pick in this situation, Jacob?
I mean, you got to go wets. Obviously, I mean, unless somehow the track is like not like wet enough yet, in which case the game will recommend you to go into the dries anyway. It's one of those where you just let the game do it for you, really. But we should see wets. We probably should see it. And the track does look pretty wet, actually. Oh no, it's slicks. You're wrong. Wow, and Spices on mediums. Whoa. But it is raining. There is going to be a pit stop later on if it does get worse. Well, surely it'll get wetter.
And Geordie and Forehead both disqualified. So even if you can get any temperature, it's the hard tyres, Jake. The hards.
And I'm surprised that nobody thought it's raining. Why don't I just take a set of wets? Because look, you can see spray coming off the tyres, can't you? Hang on.
Yeah, there is spray coming off those tyres. A whole lot of it, because not all of the water's being picked up and thrown away by the lack of any sort of grooves on the tread of the tyre. But we're already seeing on this formation lap a lot of people struggling. And if you're someone like Panda, who is buried in the grid, of course, with a lot of pace, as with Jackson and combined as well, you're going to have to be very careful that one of the guys in front of you, if they make one small slip, one small mistake, one literal slip in that case, that it doesn't take your front wing off. Because that's going to be a longer trip back to the longest pit lane time-wise of the calendar, as well as the longest possible pit stop that's there in the game.
Yeah,
that's going to be there for a solid minute.
Yeah, that's like a 40-second traverse for the pit lane and 16 seconds for your pit stop with the front wing change. Yeah, it's not good. Now, I do want to apologise. I do have my graphics turned down a tiny bit, so you can't really see the spray coming off the tyres. We did see it momentarily when they were heading off the grid, and we probably will see it again as we start, but can't really see it right now. But believe me, it is looking pretty wet, and this has made just a normal wet race become a lot more interesting, because is it going to become wet enough for wet tyres later on?
Well, this is definitely intermediate conditions, right? It's not quite... There isn't quite enough standing water to warrant the full wet tyres, but since there are no intermediates, the drivers have just said, well, we're just going to just tough it out on slicks. Maybe it could dry up a bit later during the sprint race, but who knows? But we are set for a very, very treacherous start, as all the drivers will be tiptoeing their way towards what is normally a very, very fast turn 1 in the form of Abbey.
Yeah, it's... a slick start on a wet track. It's this is not something you see every day.
Pace trapped in this grid. Probably Wingman is loving this because he actually showed quite a bit of pace in the feature race, but just was unable to capitalize off of it due to his game crash. But here we go. As Trent takes his spot on the grid, they all get reset, and Jacob, take us away for the sprint race.
Alrighty, 3, 4, 5 red lights here at Silverstone, and we are away very quickly. And everyone's very cautious off the start. Bates getting an awful start, falling all the way down the grid. But it looks like everybody else, there's no incident straight away, which is nice to see. Everyone's keeping it pretty clean. A couple of cars going a little bit wide, a little bit of jostling. Wingman does retain the lead. Quantum is all over Pondon, tries to make a move. They do touch. Quantum does take second place. And T-Mac is now fighting for third. Oh, T-Mac just dives out of absolutely nowhere. Does fall back, and he did ghost a little bit there. Very fortunately, I suppose. A lot of jostling going around. So many.
T-Mac is all over the place. Meanwhile, Combine's got a run, not just on Jackson, but on Pondon as well. He's going to make it 2-1 going into Brooklands for the first time. The biggest winner so far has been FIBA, up 8 places, Trin up 9, and Panda's up 5 places into 3rd place already. But at the moment, it is a MP Motorsport 1-2, Wingman leading Pondon away, 1.4 seconds. And you can just see how treacherous it is. And through this very high-speed section, who's going to cope with the tricky conditions as T-Mac runs extremely wide, as you just don't know how much grip is going to be in those tyres under braking.
Yeah, everyone's a bit of a stranger to these conditions. It's not too often we see slick tyres on a wet track, but it's working well for Panda, who's up in the 3rd place already. He's still trying to suss out the conditions, as is everybody else, but he's definitely right in range of Quantum. There will be no DRS. I don't think there'll be any DRS, I'm not sure if it's wet conditions or not. We'll find out on lap 3, I suppose, but for now Panda does hold 3rd place. And Trin and Pondon battling through Stowe. Pondon's got a good run here, and he's got the inside line. Can he get that a little bit deeper? No. Trin breaks that a little bit deeper instead. And now he's got the inside line. Pondon's fighting it all the way around, but Trin will hold on to 7th place.
Oh, as Trin has a nice drift through Club Corner. This will give Pondon an opportunity, as it looks like FIBA has spun yet again coming out of Club Corner. As Trin has to go to the off-road at Farm just to keep the car under control. Comes back onto the circuit, now just behind Pondon. As the inside line for turn 4, the loop. And there he goes. I believe that might actually be Village. But there we go. They're both these guys drifting through Aintree as, well, looks like Trin has gotten the better on as the timing tower has its little shenanigans once again. And who is that on the inside? I do believe that would be the Dragon himself, Bandcamp, trying to find his way past Pondon as well.
Yeah, Band's doing pretty well. This is the back of the train, mind, but it's all about survival of the fittest here, I suppose. Just trying to make sure you don't die, because we've had a few people have some incidents. I've just switched back and highlighted them as we've gone through here. A few offs, Vexation. We saw a lot of Wing come off as well. Spicer had a wee moment at the corner before Cops. That one, the name escapes me, but Band is in 10th place. Really trying to make something happen on Pondon.
Yeah, meanwhile, Zol Panda was able to get past Quantum, so he's now in 2nd place. Once Spicer crosses the first sector split, that should be all fixed. I don't know if you're getting the same visual glitch that I am on my end.
Yeah, same thing, so basically.
That Spicer is in 1st. Unfortunately for all the Spicer fans, he is in last. By quite some distance, but here we go. Now the moment of truth.
Wingman's at a moment, and Panda will go through here. Yep, no fighting for that one.
Yeah, that's all it takes, one mistake. And the Rainmeister has secured P1 after 2 laps of running. I do believe I heard the beep before when we had the glitched lap 3. Now it's the actual lap 3.
Yep.
So DRS should be enabled, and yes it is. Wingman is in that DRS range of the Prema in front of him.
Now, I did notice, as we'll just see, yep, that is DRS. Panda set a 150.3. That's about 10 seconds slower than what we saw in the feature race. And I'm just wondering, nobody is trying this.
Meanwhile, sorry to just cut you off. Yep. Oh, Band's gone super deep. There's a battle going on for 10th place. The moment is 3 wide. 3 wide going into Loftfield. Oh, that just doesn't work. Ando gets bumped off into the grass, now the gravel. But Bandcamp is still keeping his nose there, and he's gotten past Batemate. What a move.
Incredible stuff. Couldn't get the best angle for that, but Bait showed a lot of respect for Band as they went through that last turn, and Bait will fall down to 11th. Band is in 10th, only to top 8 get points in the sprint race, so he's still got a bit more work to do, obviously. And Spicer has retired there.
And that is a virtual safety car.
Ooh.
So they'll have to keep that Delta positive. That could actually be upgraded to a full safety car given the conditions. And if it does, well, say goodbye to whatever tyre temp that you had.
Yeah, just you'd be staying out at this point regardless. Not trying to do any funny business. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing with these conditions, Jacob. It's those drivers who really work the tires and put as much heat into them as possible. They're going to have the grip, because especially on the harder compounds, they can get really, really cold really, really quickly in these kinds of conditions.
Exactly, especially these hard tires as well. They're notoriously hard to get any temperature in, so there's going to be the big thing right now. Panda, you can just see just sort of lapping like normal, actually nearly losing it a little bit coming through turn 1. But he is currently the race leader, 3 seconds clear of Wingman. Then Quantum, still holding their 1-2, just one lower, so 2-3 I suppose. T-Mac in 4th, combined 5th, Jackson in 6th, Trin is in 7th place, and Pondon is in 8th. Seeing a bit of checking up here just off the Delta. Vexation's got a drive-through as well. Is that more than one person?
It's not just him, it's also Pondon, it's also Forehead, so 3 drive-throughs from that virtual safety car. And all of Pondon's fans in his stream are not going to be happy whatsoever, as Fever just soars past him going through Aintree. What a move there from the Kiwi. You don't see that too often in the dry, let alone in these kinds of conditions, Jacob.
Yeah, didn't quite catch the move unfortunately, but that is him up into 8th place now. Like somewhere in the distance we can hear Pondon yelling, and Vexation gets 10 seconds for corner cutting, although you get the feeling it's a little bit irrelevant. Forehead also coming into the pits. I don't know if he's got some sort of damage. Or did he have a drive-through? I can't remember actually.
He didn't have a drive-through, but he is just Vexation actually.
They look straight on through turn 1. I don't see that happening. Yeah. But
yeah, it just looks like he just has him right for the corner.
That's okay. Doesn't look like it's triggered anything. Yep, the car's removed, so we're still at the green flag racing at least. Lap 4 of 11 here at Silverstone. Still in these sort of half, sort of wet, sort of not really conditions on the slick tyres. Fever making a move on Trin for 7th place here. Pretty easily done. Parks it right in front of Trin.
What makes it more impressive for Fever at the moment is that he's carrying a bit of wing damage. He doesn't have that left side end plate on that damn car. So whether that's helping the balance in these kind of conditions or not, I have absolutely no idea. But there goes Pondon to serve his drive-through, and he's going to fall all the way back to behind Shane Mumford, unfortunately.
Yeah, drive-through even worse at this track compared to any others, because again we mentioned the super long pit, the pit lane. Fever drifting it all the way through into turn 2. that was some good stuff there. And yeah, I don't think the aero is really playing in too much on these cars. I just see Bait and Ban just a little bit further behind, just having a wee battle coming onto the DRS straight.
Oh, we have a virtual safety car.
Ooh.
Don't know what that is for, but we do have a virtual safety car. That could be a delayed call from Vexation's crash earlier.
Super delayed.
Yeah, we hope, Jacob, we hope that it isn't the virtual safety car bug, because otherwise it's going to be like this coming out every single lap until basically the end of the race.
Hope not. Well, there's only a few laps left to run, obviously, but yeah, that's no good. I was just having a scroll.
It's raining.
It has.
Stopped raining, Jacob.
It has. Thankfully, everybody's on the right tyre for it, so no big deal. So I think everybody was always going to be on the right tyre. DRS back enabled, and we are green flag racing once again. The rain stopped. The track looks bone dry all of a sudden as well.
And the MP Motorsport cars are getting very close together. Quantum has that DRS as well as Mika gets past Americat down in 14th place, coming into Maggots and Beckett's. And here we go, the 2 MP Motorsport cars side by side into Stowe corner. Jacob, this could get a bit spicy, but there we go. Quantum Effect ahead now, and he now is clean air to try and pull that 3 seconds as Fever has done a Schumacher. He's gone straight on at Stowe.
Wow, yeah, he's just parked it, is he? Yeah, he's trying to get out of that gravel. He had a really good recovery going as well. Oh, he's left, yeah. Kind of don't blame him as well, because that's pretty frustrating, but it's a bit unfortunate. It's a bit sad to see.
Oh, there's a bit of a train forming as well, as Jackson up the inside of Combined into turn 3. And he does it. Wow, does Combined have an answer? No, not quite. In fact, he's now coming under pressure from Trin, as Trin will have the outside line. It's a little bit more grip there, a little bit slidey still in the rears. That might actually compromise his run. Jackson runs a little bit off the track. All 3 of these guys having the DRS, but Combined seems to have the straight line speed that he needs heading into Brooklands now. Turn number 6. And there we go. They all hold the line of stern, but they're all sort of getting caught up behind Quantum Effect, who really hasn't had the opportunity to pull away, as Wingman seems to be struggling now. I don't know, I can't see any wing damage from the offboards just yet, but he is losing time to T-Mac and Quantum, and he's losing it fast.
Could be some sort of other damage. I did see he went very deep on into the chicane, and I don't know if he got tapped by Quantum at all. Maybe some side pod damage or something, but I'm not seeing anything. But he is right now struggling is the main thing, and Jackson is all over him here. He may try and get a move done, although Wingman will have DRS this time around. It won't be long before he loses it though. But Wingman will just have to hold on for dear life.
Jackson has a look. Oh.
You can really send it, but it's yeah, you gotta know what you're doing. And
just make sure Wingman knows he's there. It's like, yep, I'm here. I'm in your mirrors. As Panda, showing that the track is indeed starting to dry up. 144.0. So there we go. As Fever rejoins. I want to see people reaching the flag.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, about Jackson just getting so much speed on Wingman there. He actually had to slow down there, but now he's going to be on the inside. Turns into the outside, but he might want a good exit.
Look at the grip that Wingman was able to find at the outside of turn 3 to keep that move done. I am absolutely astounded from what he was able to do there to keep that MP Motorsport car ahead, and he's still actually within DRS range. As T-Mac is now the one at risk of losing it, as we haven't. Yep, there we go, another virtual safety car.
Interesting. Yeah, so it must be the bug you're alluding to then. Now, I was just going to point out, Forehead down at 18th place is lapping on apparently wets. It seems to be working for him, I suppose.
Maybe not in these conditions, no.
I think it's a bit late for that call, buddy, but...
Yeah, it's too little, too late in my book. Currently fastest lap still held by Panda. He is the, well, there's actually only two drivers in the 1 minute 44s. That's Panda on a 44.0 and Geordie in a 10th place on a 44.8. Of course, this is on a drying track, so the times will come down significantly once this virtual safety car ends. But if it keeps happening, a whole bunch of drivers. There we go. That's Wingman and Jackson. Both of those guys getting drive-through penalties. So that's 4th and 5th. And that is going to have massive implications for their race.
Well, 3 wide here. 5th, 6th and 7th. It'd be Trin combined. Wingman all fighting it out here. Jackson just holding on, but Trin's trying to make something happen. But he's got 5th place there. That's incredible. I think he made 2 spots in 1 corner there.
There we go. Looks like Jackson deciding to stay out. There's an extra lap. Trin yet again losing the rear coming out of the Vale chicane. There we go. Just like last race, looks like Panda running away from things, but instead of it being Jackson combined the 2nd and 3rd trying to pull away, it is now T-Mac and Quantum.
Yes, 10 seconds to Panda. Quite extraordinary to see after 8 laps even. And also just noticing a bit of a lack of penalties compared to last race. It must be the combination of having that wet track from earlier, people being a bit more cautious in general, and just having the track limits a bit more sussed out.
Yeah, they know how much they can push the cars, because as opposed to the F1 series, there is most of these guys are driving these cars around the circuit for maybe their 5th lap come time for qualifying. So you don't really have that knowledge that you have in the F1 cars of sort of where you can push it, you know, and just how to tackle each corner, especially considering that the handling is so much different, as it looks like a Forehead not having a great time on those extreme wet tires. He's in the gravel at the start of the Wellington Straight.
Yeah, he's just fishing it out, no big deal. He's doing things on his terms. Ghosting is on, so not a massive deal in the grand scheme of things. And I just saw another yellow flag. That's Shane Mumford just having him off. Yeah.
Shane at the exit of Lovefield, not having the best time either. As Panda now 1 minute 40.7. That's a dry track time. We'll see if he's able to go a little bit lower as he did in the feature race. But now he's started lap 9 of 11, so only 3 laps to go as Jackson sets the fastest lap, about a 1/10 of a second faster with a 1 minute 40.622. But looks like he might have been cutting a few corners to get that as he picks up a 3-second time penalty.
Well, he can push all he wants, I suppose. He's got to drive through the strip still. Just saw Baymate and Geordie fighting for the last turn. Geordie had to back out, so Baymate does hold on to 8th place. And also Combined was only a couple of tenths away from Trent just earlier, where Trent just got a good exit out of the last few turns, so he's pulled that gap back out miraculously. So a couple of interesting battles still to play out here. I've only got a few more laps here at Silverstone.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few battles a bit further down the grid as well. Now that Fever is back into his car, he's got Pondon for company in his DRS, about half a second back. I do expect Fever to sort of run away with it at least a little bit from Pondon, but he might just slow it down and provide some entertainment.
I'm sure Pondon won't mind the content. Combined is only a few tenths away from Trin. They're heading into Maggots now. If he can get a good run through here, then maybe he can try and make something happen through this DRS straight. Nice and slow through the last turn there to try to get a good exit. Not too bad, he might be able to range up alongside. Trent covers on the inside, weaving a little bit. Combined will send it on the inside here. And Trent pretty easily sticks on the outside and will have the inside for the chicane. And Combined does pull out a little bit, but tries to stake his claim on the outside, but again becomes the inside. And now Combined will have to pull out of that, just squeezed a little bit there.
Well, yeah, there we go. Jackson didn't serve his drive-through, so he's been disqualified. And Joy's been tapped at club corner. He's in the wall at the start of the straight. Oh no, he was trying to find his way past Batemate, sort of Kevin Magnussen style and Alex Albon. And it just all went wrong and crashing down and literally crashing into the wall. And there we go. That's going to be enough, Geordie, unfortunately, out of the session.
Yeah, massive wing damage and just having to do another lap. That's enough to ruin the race as it is. So. Lap 10 of 11. Still 2 more laps to run. Mine, I don't know. Probably worth playing out, you know, but no big deal. Fever coming to the pits again. That looks like a wing change. Yep. So Panda now 13 seconds ahead of Quantum.
He's checked out on this.
Yeah,
hey Panda, can you do this on Sunday as well? That'd be great.
Wow.
Panda, of course, my teammate. Wonderful Alpha Terra for Tier 1. So there we go. Speaking of, we've got Batemate, pass driver for Tier 1. He's found the run on Bandcamp going through Klopp's corner. Now he's only about 2 tenths behind him going into Maggots and Beckett's. And Band looks like he's really struggling, missing all of those apexes of Maggots and Beckett's. He hits Chapel though, but it might be too little too late for the Mazatrin car.
Yeah, once you get one corner wrong in that sequence, it all seems to go to waste, but Bait can now just go right alongside. He'll be totally comfortable here. Just a little bit of a squeeze on Band. Let him know who's coming by, and Bait will take 6th place here. But Band
has a little bit of a walk back into the Vale chicane.
Yeah.
As Pondon gets past the AI car of Geordie. Pondon now catching Wingman as well, down in the battle for 11th place. No points on offer, but you know, I always talk about when I do these comms, Jacob, it's the bragging rights as well.
That's exactly it. Speaking up, last lap here, Pondon with another 3 seconds, but bragging rights, come on. So T-Mac might actually, he will get second. Quantum has 3 seconds currently. Trin is very close to passing that threshold as well, but it's very tight right now.
He's right on it. He's right on it, less than a 10th away from that 3-second window that he needs as Wingman picks up a 3-second time penalty. So in that battle, if I can get my penalties up. Oh, no, I was about to say they're even. No, not quite. Pondon has 6 now.
Yeah.
Bit unfortunate, as it looks like forehead
forehead
spinning. Still on those wet tyres, by the way. So.
What a trooper. Salute you, I suppose.
Committed to that strategy. He now falls 2 laps down as Panda now. 15 seconds of almost ahead. Down the hanger straight one final time, and it's pretty safe to say that he is going to take this victory and this whole weekend with an iron fist.
Clean sweep, isn't it? Both fastest laps, both wins. Did he get pole? He got pole as well.
He was on pole as well. This could be the full 48.
He nearly led all the laps. He didn't lead all the laps, but this has still been a very dominant display here from Panda as he takes the checkered flag. 139.666 as well to finish off. Great stuff there from Panda.
Battles aren't over though. Crush and Bunning snag.
And T-Max 3 seconds behind Quantum. And somebody's, is it a Dam's lost it on the second last turn?
Oh no.
It's out the way, it's out the way, that's okay. Quantum just missing out, and so same for Trin.
We have a drag race though between Bunny Snag and Crush. They close side by side going through the club corner. And Crush will get ahead on Trigger Force. Bunny Snack has that 3 seconds anyway, but you want to get it done on track. Like, come on, who doesn't?
Exactly. Oh! Ah, my game just crashed.
Oh, mine did too.
Oh yeah, yeah, that is just wonderful. 1 second, guys, bear with me.
That's a new one, where there wasn't a safety car.
No, it's happened to me once as well. Hang on, we just come back out here. I don't think I can even rejoin in time. I'll just see if we can quickly grab the race results from somebody else.
Oh, bait mate.
Alright, back in 1 moment, folks. Do hang around.
Yeah. Gap actually between T-Mac and Quantum was less than 1/10 of a second, 96 milliseconds. But T-Mac still was able to close that gap through that final traction zone out of the Vale chicane to take 2nd place. Quantum settling for 3rd on that one. Just watching along with the bait stream, and there, Trin actually picking up driver of the day. So I mean, he did have an amazing start in those very changeable conditions to make up 10 spots up. I believe was about a lap and a half. So great skill to keep that car in one piece as well, going through that many cars on a circuit which can be quite challenging to overtake on. You're stuck in the DRS train. But Panda, a dominant performance once again, and I believe just like last week, he's going to have the full 48 points all to put himself well clear of Potsy. Yeah, so Panda first with a 1 minute 39.666 as the fastest lap, 17.7 seconds ahead of T-Mac, followed by Quantum Effect, Trin, Combined YouTuber in 5th, Batemate drops from 4th to 6th, Bandcamp up into 7th, and Crush takes the final point, the 2 high-techs both scoring. Bunning Snag, the first of the penalties, they're outside of the top 8. He goes into 9th place, Andocat in 10th, Wingman 11th, Fondant in 12th, Fever 13th, Mika in 14th, and that's all I can see because Batemate is not scrolling.
Oh, that's so typical. Oh, well, a bit of radio AFR to finish off there, I suppose. I mean, a couple of bugs had to creep in the end, I suppose. But oh well.
It wouldn't be a Cody's without it.
Oh, exactly. Just Cody's. Anyway,
Cody's.
Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I've been Jacob Meister. Mika's been with me tonight as well. Do tune in on Sunday night for, I believe, it's France. I should know.
Yes,
I'm racing it.
Circuit Paul Ricard, 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern, as I do believe that might be Band and Psycho the talks. There's normally Batemate and Band, but I think Psycho might be helping out there, because unfortunately I won't be able to do T2.
Yeah, two of them are going to be there. There's going to be people there. It's starting to hail again.
It's going to be a party. No, nothing like the circuits that we've been to in the past few weeks. Very open, lots of runoff. Still quite strict on the track limits, and from the runs in practice, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting race strategy-wise as well. So that's 5:30 p.m. We get things kicked off with Tier 3, and then 7 p.m. Australian Eastern for Tier 1, and then 8:30 p.m. Is Tier 2.
Indeed.
And, yeah,
do join us.
Chance of rain as well. So
oh yeah, exactly.
do join us.
Indeed. Do join us then, but for now, thank you all for tuning in, and hope you have a wonderful night.
Take it easy, guys. Enjoy Monza.